This is now Wednesday. We're going to try a second recipe today. I got all my stuff out. I've pre-measured some of the ingredients for a new recipe that Sister William sent to me. Watch out for the mountain lion, it's back here. And this one has sour cream in it, but she forgot to send me the recipe with the sour cream, so I'm going to swap out a cup of milk for the sour cream and see how that turns out. So, I've got my Dutch oven here that we cleaned up from last time. We've got my chimney over here. So I'll put this about the same place we had it out yesterday. There's my lid. When you're storing your Dutch ovens, they suggest having a paper towel or a towel in between so it doesn't seal it and get all rusty and stuff inside. This we're going to be using. We're going to need a missing my pin. What am I missing? My pie plate. So I'll go get that in a minute, and we'll see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, we got our bug cake in there. Everything's good. Okay, I'm going to take a little break and get my pie pin, and we'll be right back. Got our pie tin. There we go. So that will be going as before. Down the bottom of that, once we get it heated up, the bundt cake like before will go inside there and heat up. Put this on here for now. So, I think we'll start the coals first. So the recipe, where's my book? One more thing. So, here we go. This recipe says 400 at 25 minutes. So, take a scan up on here. The way that the Dutch oven temperatures work, if I want it to be 400 and my pan is a 12-inch Lodge thing, I need to have 29 briquettes total, 19 on the top and 10 on the bottom to get that temperature at 400 first, and then it'll be 25 minutes to cook it. So what we're going to do is to use that recipe for the number of briquettes. It asks us to use vegetable oil inside the oven, but in this case we're using a separate pan inside so we don't have to oil the Dutch oven itself. Alright. So, as before, 29. Oh, which I found. I knew I had it somewhere. And these are the sticks that I whittled the other day. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 1 or 2 there. So, I got 30-ish. What is this paper now? So the first thing I'm going to do is start up this here oven. I'll stick it on here just for fun. We'll give it a little squirt of this again. Get it started. And we'll see if that fire up. Okay, let's let that burn for a little bit. My gloves over here where I need them. Put this back in here. You can can also use fire starter if you want. Let me just grab one of those for a sec. You can also use the fire starters if you want. This one's just a zip fire starter. Little squares of white. Looks like styrofoam, I guess, a little bit. You drop that in there and that'll just keep it burning. You see it starts on fire and just stays burning, which is nice. So let that burn for a bit, get it started good. Meanwhile, we're going to mix up some ingredients before it starts raining on us again. So, garbage we're going to put in there. So, as before, we got a recipe. This one looks like it's a little smaller recipe, so it might not fill up the pan quite as much, but that's alright. So, we got 2/3 cup of margarine. Here, softened. Excellent. We've got 1 cup of sugar here. We're going to dump in, I think we'll start at the dry in here. I'm going to cream all this together. We've got 3 eggs. So let's start with number 1 according to Aubrey. 1, 2, and 3. Very few shells in there, that's very good. Oops, there's still one in there. Okay, don't worry about that. And 1 1/3 cups of milk. 1 2/3 cup of milk. So in this case, we're going to just use 2/3 cup of milk, which I measured in here. And 1 cup of sour cream to make it a little thicker. So, open this one up here. Okay. I need a spoon or a knife or something. Let's take a break for a second. Be right back. Get 2/3, half. This is a half cup, so I need 2 of these. So there's 1 cup. Ooh, that's gonna be good. And a second half cup. A little bit more here. You see, I learned my measuring skills at the pharmacy. I use a spatula. I hear the thunder. It's gonna be fun today. Cat, you can't have any. I know you're a mama, but... Hey!
Oh, hey!
Gotta watch out for the wildlife on the camping here. Okay. She thinks she's getting fed today. So we're gonna have to mix that all together. Put this over here for now. Cream. Add in this margarine, which is 2/3 cup of margarine. I took 1 1/2 squares. That's pretty close. Closer to 3/4, but I'm gonna miss some in the middle here. So. Okay. What we used in this case is just margarine, imperial squares, I think is what they ended up being. Okay, so we're going to put this back in here. Put the lid on here in case it rains. And we're just going to take a little time and mix this together. I'm going to cream it all in together. It'll be lovely once we get it all mixed together. How's the coals doing on there?
It's doing okay.
Take a little look with the camera. They're started around the edges, like that white means that they're started. If there's any that are all black, then they're just
Fire's dying down.
Need to be fixed again. Shall we do what we did yesterday? That's this fun part. Actually, even started a little more. Those are all looking like they're starting pretty good. Okay, watch out.
Oh, that was cool.
Impressive, eh?
What if this thing catches on fire?
Oh, I think we're good. Okay, so we're going to squish all this together. I bet it could have been softened a little more, but this will work good. This is the boring part. Might have to skip ahead when we're... Okay, what's the next recipe thing say on there? Flour, cornmeal,
and baking powder.
Baking powder and salt.
Yep.
So, I got the flour, cornmeal, baking powder and salt ready to mix in here as well. I'm just finish getting the butter a little bit softer here. Start with a little flour here. What I'm going to do is mix the dry ingredients together first and then mix them in. So let's just try that. We got flour, 2/3 of a cup, 1 cup of cornmeal. The other recipe we soaked a little bit in the milk, but this time we're going to try it without. And then I've got 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt in here. Mix all that in there. How are we doing there? Let's shake that up a little bit. Yep, ready. Okay, so gradually I'm going to work this into my flour mixture. Oh, looks like it all fit pretty good. Time and work that all in. You can get out of the smoke a little bit. This over here. This is a little bit thicker one than the one that we cooked yesterday, Monday. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Is that thunder or is that just a motorcycle?
Thunder. It's not looking very optimistic.
Okay, so let's see how we're doing here. Oh, I have some lumps of goodness in there. That'd be lovely. Okay. So, now what I'm going to do, add a little bit of oil to my pan. This is the fun part. One. You can use the spray can, but I like to use this because it's funner. Get it nice and greased up so it'll come out. Okay. Add a little bit of oil in here just to make it fun, even though it has the butter in there as well. Make sure it's nice and mixed. Then we're just going to spoon it into here. Anybody feed the cat yet? Feed the bottom there. Like I said, this is a smaller recipe than what we did yesterday. It's supposed to fit in a flat pan, so it's going to cook about the same, maybe just a little longer. Put the last part of this in here. Okay, so now this is ready to go in the coals or in the oven. Use the bundt cake, like I said before, so that it'll cook a little more evenly in the middle and the top. See how that turns out. Okay. Tastes good. Yesterday everything blew away, so be careful there. So, I'm over here by the coals. Yesterday I did it backwards because it's been a while since I did my coals, but I'm supposed to put 2/3 of the coals on top and 1/3 on the bottom because heat rises, so you need 2/3 on top to counterbalance the heat coming up so that it gets an even temperature on the top and the bottom. So, we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, today's not. 10, 10 and a half, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, that was not really started, 18 and 19. Okay, and then on the bottom we put about 10. We're going to just lift this off here. This tool can be used to lift the entire thing or just the lid. That. Put the rest down here. These aren't sturdy yet, so I'll start them up there. Put these close enough they should start each other up too. Okay. And now we're going to put this back on here. What I could have done is put the pan in first, but doesn't matter. Put this off here. Pop this in the oven. Bob's your uncle. And wait about half an hour, 25 minutes or so. See how it cooks. Should be heated up to about 400 by that period. I'm going to take A quick break here. We'll leave that going and see what happens. Life will be good. See you in about half hour. It's starting to rain. I think that's either my rain indicator or the fact that the timer is now hit 25 minutes is what I said for. So what we're going to do, get on my good gloves here. Get me a piece of stick that I whittled earlier this week. Took forever to get those little plastic things glued on there. And we're going to take this lid off here and see how we're doing. So, ready, steady, Betty. Okay, it's raised quite a bit of ways, that's good. And it's starting to brown a little bit, so we're just going to stick our thing in here. Yeah, it's just at the very bottom, it's still a little bit uncooked, so it could need another 5 to 10 minutes. So we're going to give it just a little longer. Put a few more coals at the bottom and let it finish, and try and keep the rain off it. See how it goes. Okay, thank you. It's hardly spitting, it just once in a while. Okay, we gave it another 5 or 10 minutes. It should be just about right. I just want to say a few words about the coals. When I did my first one on Monday, I was reading the recipe upside down and I read the number of coals backwards. So I should have had 9 on the bottom and 18 on the top. Normally you have twice as many on the top than you do on the bottom, as per that chart in the book. The reason for that is that you need twice as much heat on the top to push down as the heat on the bottom to bring up, to keep it at an even temperature. Every 15 minutes or so you turn it a quarter turn like this, so it keeps it even, especially if you're cooking right in the pan. In this case we have a pan on the inside that doesn't really matter. So we're going to pull it off, see how it looks. Ooh, nice and brown. We'll just try it one here. That looks pretty good. With another little spit if you wanted to. Give it about 15 minutes or half hour to cool down if you really want to wait. But when we were camping we never could, so we just cut it and ate it hot out of the thing, which is good too. So we're going to try flipping it over after about 5 minutes of cooling down and see how it turns out on a plate. See how that goes. I just put my gloves on and lift it out, easy enough. It's cooling down over here. It's threatening to rain, so I'm going to put that on there to keep it from getting wet. Note about briquette safety. These briquettes need to be put out completely when you're done, or put in a safe place. I put them in my barbecue, and then you put a little bit of water in and kill it. So otherwise it'll burn for a couple days before it completely goes out. If you put it somewhere where there's a heat source, a combustible, it might end up starting a fire again, even after a couple days. So I end up putting it in here for now, and then I'll dump some water in it when we're done. Or you can do some s'mores later on tonight and then put it out. Easy peasy. And when we're completely done, what we'll do is we'll dust off the ashes, rinse it off with hot water, and then oil it just a little bit and get it ready to get put away for the next time you want to do Dutch ovens. Okay. Just dump this over here a little bit. Nice thing about this is it's got a little holder so you can turn it all right upside down if you need to. We're going to just throw some water in here. Instead of just letting it cool down, we'll let it boil some water, then we use the water to clean the pots and dishes and stuff when it's done. Easy peasy. And I hate to say it, but I was wrong on camera. I was wrong before. I read the things upside down. I should have put twice as many on top as the bottom, but despite that, it still works. So how can something so right turn out so wrong? No, the other way around. Put that, reverse it. Along here, make sure it'll flip out pretty good. Sometimes the top sticks in there, but just as good as anything, I guess. And on the inside, make sure it's all there. Okay, let's see if it will flip over. Put my little gloves on because it's still a bit warm. Woohoo! Did it work? Let's see. Pretty good. So the bottom doesn't brown like the top did because it's up off the heat a little bit. But and you just cut it. Once it cools down, it won't break like this. Try serving it up. It's gonna fall apart on me. I have to let it cool a little more. Tastes good though.